Welcome to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a twice-a-week podcast where we talk sports and shoot the shit. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there is no shame in his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
Grumpy, how are you doing this fine Thursday evening?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Not too bad, man. I'll tell you.
Why aren't you wearing a shirt?
You know, it's the Thursday attire. Cut off T-shirts every single Thursday evening when we do this podcast. That's all it is, Grump.
First of all, it's not a cut off T-shirt. It's a tank top.
It's my dress code, man. That's what it is, Grump.
It's an epic fail.
It's an epic fail, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, good gracious, good gracious. Grump, there's a lot of drama that happened in college football today. And this, for college football fans, is always the greatest week of the year. You've got all of the New Year's Day bowl games. You've got your New Year's Eve bowl games. So many bowl games. You can literally plop yourself in front of the TV and watch bowl games from the minute you wake up all the way until the minute you go to bed. And who doesn't love that as a college football fan?
I mean, I also think the championship week is pretty good too, where they have, the titles for each, for each conference. I think that's pretty good too. But yes, I agree. But some of the silly things that they're starting to do now, right? They had the Cheez-Its Bowl, so they dump Cheez-Its. But the absolute worst.
No, wait, we'll talk about that. Wait. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
What are you talking about, Grumpy? Actually, you know what? I'll let you talk about it because I've got a video to watch it. Discuss.
Okay. The Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl, which is held in my hometown of Charlotte. I used to work that game when it was the Continental Tire Bowl. Whatever, I don't know. It was called some other bowl.
Care Bowl, the Belt
Bowl. Meineke Car Care Bowl, right? And I used to work those games, but I'm sorry. Now, here's the thing: I am repulsed, absolutely repulsed by mayonnaise. If that happened to me, I would have puked on stage.
Go!
I'm puking. Think about the smell. Oh, horrible. Now, it's not pure mayonnaise because that's too clunky, but they put some water in there just to make it. Look at these guys. These guys wear a mask, and it's not.
They're not guys. Those are girls, Grumpy.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
Well, I was about to ask you. Now, when you watch this, right, it's disgusting. And it's all over the place. People are talking about it. It is disgusting. I want to ask you a few questions. What's worse? Getting slammed in the head by that jug because the ladies weren't strong enough to hold it and that mayonnaise didn't drop immediately out of the thing, or getting the mayo dumped on you?
No, it's the mayonnaise. It's the mayonnaise. I won't even let mayonnaise in my house. I can't. It's no, it's most brutal smell. It's the worst thing ever.
Well,
yeah. And this guy, he must like mayonnaise because I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this. How much, if you're sitting here, right, and the coach, I'm sure, was not thrilled about this. They do it on like a separate area. I'm sure he's got a sweatshirt on. I imagine how many he had to be in the shower for a long time to get that mayo out of his hair.
It was 4.5 gallons is what they dumped on there. Brutal.
So I'm going to press pause so you can we could talk about this for a second beforehand. So, Grump, how much would you have to be paid in order to get the mayo dumped on you? Let's say everybody always says there's a price, right?
Okay. $5 million. I'll go $5 million tax free because I ain't paying taxes on it either. Here's the thing. I'm throwing up. When that's happening, I am literally throwing up. Now, it would make for even a really epic video if they had that dumped on my head and me, because I'd be puking. I'd be retching and puking just because I can smell that shit through the jar. I swear. I'm like, I mean, I hate mayonnaise.
Do you have some sort of special ability where you can smell mayo through the jar? So your price is $5 million. So if the guy came
tax free.
So if the guy came up and said, Grump, we can't do 5, we could do 2.5. You'd still say no? I'll be honest with you. $100,000.
$100,000? I don't.
Even if it was 50,000, I'd say, yeah, pour that mayo all over me. Even, you know what? If it was 10,000, maybe not.
No,
I do it for 10,000. Who the hell am I kidding? 10,000? Come on.
Okay, here's the thing. Because I'd have PTS for the rest of my life.
PTSD, you mean?
Every single day. I think about that and I'd smell it. It'd like always be stuck in my nostrils. That's what I feel like. Oh, like, when Marv had the spider on his face in Home Alone and he go, ah, and he screamed with great movie scream, by the way. He's like, is it on me? Is it on me? Is it on me? That's what it's like. But that mayonnaise, that smell could never get out of your nostrils ever. Oh,
So,
it's worse than waterboarding. I'd rather be waterboarded than have mayonnaise poured on me.
and not being hyperbolic at all, I'm sure.
Not at all. Not at all.
You're like,
I'd rather have, and here's the thing, I'm not a good swimmer, so I'm scared of drowning, right? Oh, there you go, right there.
this is what it would be like.
On my face
Anytime you come near mayo, this is what you get.
Kind of like, yeah, that's what it'd be like. But here's the thing, if my mouth was open, that shit would get in there and I'd just be projectile vomiting. That's what would be happening. Ugh, I can't think of anything worse. I read it this afternoon. I'm like, holy crap. I thought they actually did it on the field, but there's no way they were going to do it on the field because everybody would have been blowing chunks. And those girls, I didn't realize they were girls. Nice way to dress them up. Those girls who were dumping that on them, they were wearing that mask not because of COVID, it's because they could not stand the smell of that mayonnaise.
They honestly, I heard, wanted to wear 5 masks, but they said, nope, you're only allowed to wear 1 mask due to the smell.
I can't think of it. This is so gross.
One more time, for good's sake. Look at this. Just look at the face. He's just like, holy crap. I guess, hey, man, he's happy they won a bowl game, unhappy about this. I'll be honest.
I heard that North Carolina threw the game rather than have this happen to them after.
Mac Brown came out there with the approach of, we want to lose the worst way possible because there's no way in hell I'm going to get mayo dumped on my head. That's what it was, right, Grump?
It is so gross. I mean, it's a new thing. Last year they did. I read this article today, and they said last year they kind of faked it. No shit, because nobody wants mayonnaise dumped on their head. They said, well, we couldn't do it 2 years in a row. It had to happen. I was like, dude, you're not pouring that shit on my head. Send the freaking assistant coach out there. Yeah, you go take one for the team, Chief. And don't come back in the locker room either. They got a hose at back the side of the stadium. Just turn it on. The weather was very pleasant today. Upper 60s, low 70s. Just shoot them with the hose outside. Make sure your shit is clean because you're not getting on the bus. Get an Uber, wherever you got to go, back to Columbia, because I'm sure they just drove right back home. So that's what was going to happen. Oh, no way. Oh, brutal.
Oh, man. I was about to say, I can't do it. And do you remember earlier on this year, they had something similar because you talked about the bowl game, right? It's the Mayo Bowl game. I'm not sure if you remember this. There was also that neutral site football game between Clemson and Georgia.
What is this guy doing?
Do you remember he came out there and he was just eating he was eating mayo at the game. This is at the stadium. This is in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they had the video of him just taking the Duke's mayo and just eating it.
No.
That's what I wish I had the video of. Damn it! Oh.
No, I'm so glad.
Here we go. And this one too. This was good too. He poured the mayo on himself too. It's the first week of the season.
No.
Oh my God! I heard it's supposed to be good for like your hair, and it's supposed to moisturize your body.
Ugh, that's gross. I can't. I seriously, my eyes are closed. I can't even look at that shit. It makes you want to throw up. Seriously.
Oh man. I hate mayo too, but not as bad as you, man. If they would have paid me $10,000 to say pour some mayo on me, I could shower this off.
$10,000 is nowhere near enough. $5 million.
$5 million is the price for Grumpy. Jesus.
And that's still then it'd still be a struggle for me, honestly. I can't think of anything more repulsive than having liquefied mayonnaise poured on me. Ugh. No.
God almighty, Gump. I love it, man.
It's horrible. I don't even know how the hell did they even invent shit like that? Well, let's take some type of egg byproducts, piss in it, crap in it, spit it up in a thing and put it on a sandwich. Blah. It's brutal. Ugh, terrible. Ugh, again. Why again?
No, I'm just popping the picture up. We won't show anymore. That being said,
the warden is not allowed to have anything that has mayonnaise in its recipe in this house. Absolutely not. Like any of that casserole shit or, anything that contains mayonnaise, just absolutely not. No freaking way. I retch. I'm like, what is that? Coleslaw is another thing. Get that hideous concoction away from me, or I'm going to projectile onto you. You only got to do it once, and then they don't do it anymore. That's it. That's the end of that. When I was a kid, my dad used to, make us eat green beans, and green beans made me sick. And he's like, I remember we went over
green beans made you sick?
Yeah, because there's another thing I can't, a lot of people, it's taste. For me, it's texture is bad, and, smells. Well, anything like that's like worms, I can't eat it. It makes me throw up. And the old man told me, and I don't know how old I was, 30, 35. No, I was younger than that. But I was a kid, we went over to my grandma's house and like, well, you're going to try some green beans. You like, I don't like green beans. No, I'm whining, crying like a bitch. And he's like, well, you're going to just try one. He made me eat one, and I threw up right at the table in my grandmother's house. Guess what? Never made me eat green beans again. So here's the thing. You don't want to do something, puke on your wife or partner, and that'll never have to happen again. Wash clothes, throw up on them. They're never going to ask you to wash clothes again.
So you're telling me people that can puke on demand have this unbelievable trump card that they can use whenever they want?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Just looking at that. Well, no, I couldn't do that. I don't even know the camera wasn't blowing chunks at that. It's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And people have been looking forward to this for a year. This was like the biggest thing. They couldn't wait for this because it's so miserable. People could not wait to dump this hideous concoction on top of the winning coach. Like I said, this guy, you might have been happy that you won, but you just lost your self-respect.
Jesus. I will tell you this, Grumpy. Before we get too deep into the podcast, I do just want to remind you guys this, again, twice a week sports podcast that occurs every single Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every single Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're new, we implore you, subscribe, stick around a while, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. We're also going to be going live tomorrow during the Georgia Michigan Wolverines game. Grumpy, college football playoffs tomorrow. Ooh, I've been waiting, Grump. I'm getting excited.
Hopefully the game will be closer than last night's.
Ooh, last night's was rough. I'll tell you, that Oregon-Oklahoma game, I was hoping it was going to be maybe a shootout where both teams were putting up points. Yikes. It was hard to watch.
It wasn't for me. I'm an Oklahoma fan. But still, it was tough to do a 4-hour podcast on that.
That it was. We got a few comments too. Drew L saying, are you seeing Kiefer Bellows right now? He's in God mode. He's got a goal and assist in the second period.
Well, here you go. Kiefer Bellows. Give a kid a shot. Actually give him a legitimate shot. COVID or not, the kid should never come out of the lineup. I'm sorry. Get rid of some of those ham and eggers who make $5, $6 million, $7 million a year. Get them off the damn team. He's a cost-effective choice who's better.
Jeff E. Oh, Jeff. So I didn't know to respond back to your comment. I don't know anybody who could buy tickets. I did not respond to Jeff. I apologize on Facebook. But he said, love to see Grumpy in a tank top. He was trying to get rid of some tickets he had for this weekend's game, and I totally forgot to respond back. I'll respond after the podcast. But Jeff E. is saying here, love to see Grumpy in a tank top.
It's impressive.
I'm not so sure about that. He also wants to know, who do you hate more, Josh Bailey or Mayo?
Mayonnaise. I don't like Josh Bailey.
You hate Mayo more than Josh Bailey as a player?
Yeah. Mayonnaise. Here's the thing. I hate mayonnaise more than I hate the Flyers. Mayonnaise is right up there as the thing I hate the most in the world, except for my children. But the mayonnaise is like the worst.
Oh, my goodness.
Tony
G said, teacher would take a mayo bath for 6 hot dogs.
Mayonnaise on hot dogs. Boy. Is it, something? That's a diet plan right there. Eat 10 scoops of mayonnaise and undercooked hot dogs. You'll be throwing up so much you ain't going to want to eat for a while.
It equates to one big meal, but you're going to blow chunks all over the place. Almighty. Oh, man. Tony G saying, I'm with Grump with the mayo. Whenever Wendy's messes up my burger, I just throw out the entire meal. Drink and fries. Appetite ruined. Damn. Yeah, I'm just like, goes one further. He'll throw away the fries because they came in a bag that had a sandwich with mayo on it.
He's not wrong there. Here's the thing. If I get pissed, like if I go out to eat somewhere and like if I know they have a pickle that comes with it, I don't like pickles either. I eat really, really plain. Okay. Let's just call it for what it is. I eat very, very plain. And the whole thing is, if I got pickle juice on my roll, Mike, I say no pickle. Do not send out a pickle. If they have a pickle, I take the pickle, I throw it on the floor, and I rip off the bread. I'm like, I said no pickle.
You don't throw pickles on the floor.
Absolutely, I do.
Stop.
Don't mess up my damn meal. I said no pickle. Can you not read?
You know what? They do everything quick, Grumpy. You've never worked a service job.
Then you get no tip.
No,
you get no tip either. You failed as a waiter / waitress.
You tip people that serve you burgers at like Burger King and stuff.
Not at Burger King. Oh, if they put mayonnaise on the sandwich, I'm banging on the damn door. What is this shit that you just gave me? I go right back in. They spit on it. I'll take a little spit over mayonnaise and pickles.
Oh, good gracious. What a film saying, hey guys, how about Kiefer Bellows? I tell you, I love it. I cannot wait to talk about our good old boy Kiefer Bellows on our Saturday podcast.
I hate being right all the time.
Jeff was thinking he thought you'd be talking maybe Bailey would be worse than Mayo.
I always tell you the truth. Mayonnaise is worse than Josh Bailey. I mean, I don't know what level worse, but it's worse than Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey is bad, but man, mayonnaise is like, it's almost like in a category all by itself.
And you got Jeff E saying here, my wife says she's right with you, Grump, about the pickles.
Yeah, I mean, it ruins the whole sandwich. It ruins everything.
Oh man. And what a film saying, burn that Brady shirt, Grumpy. Oh my God.
No, I'm not burning the Brady shirt. You know I'm not doing that.
And TJ with the muscle shirts, when will you learn? I'll take a Brady shirt over the muscle shirt any day of the week. It's Thursday attire. It's the Thursday attire. What
don't you? It's funny. My kids got me this freaking Apple Watch thing, which has just been a bane of my existence for almost a week now. Can't operate the damn thing. It's useless.
Grumpy, I'll tell you, hold on. So you get an Apple Watch and you're unable to, well, Grumpy, you are kind of old up there in age, so you must just struggle with technology is what I think it is.
I didn't need it. I mean, it tells me all these things, but I got to charge it all the time. It's like I got to charge it 7 times a day almost.
Once a day? That's not too bad. It's just like a part of a routine, Grump. At least you have a watch.
I got my Fitbit. That's like a watch. I still got to wear this too. So I look like,
Hold on. Let me see. You're wearing, hold on, put your hands back up there. You're wearing 2 watches at the moment?
Yeah, because I'm in a Fitbit club, and guess what? Apple Watch doesn't support that. So I have to wear the other thing.
Throw that up again. Throw that up one more time. I just want to.
Yeah, let me get there you go. Look, see, I got them both lit up. That's what I got to do.
Oh,
how difficult my life is? It's very difficult. And here's the thing. You know what? You're used to, here's the thing. First of all, this one band is tough to put on. This Apple Watch band, very, very difficult. I don't know. It takes me a long time. But the worst thing is trying to take this other one that I've been wearing on my left wrist because I'm left-handed for 5 years, and now try to retrain everything to fit it onto the right side. It's just very difficult. The struggles are real over here.
I was about to say the first world problems you've got, Grumpy. It's crazy, my man. They're crazy. But I'll tell you. So we talked a little bit about the Mayo, but I want to talk about college football and the bowl games. Did you happen to see, Grumpy old man, the controversy that ended the Tennessee Volunteers game? Is that a no, Grumpy?
No, I did not see that today. Here's
Tennessee against Purdue. It was right down to the wire, and fans get upset by this. And I want to get your opinion about how the rule is written. Now, we'll weigh in on it. I'll let you see the play, and I'll paint the picture for you. The game is tied 45-45. It's an overtime.
Wow.
And again, I will show you. It's 4th and goal. I'll let you watch this play, Grump.
I guess
we'll actually have to listen for this. We'll have to listen to this as well.
Backfield with Jalen Wright behind the big fellas. Wright, hit, shoves, drives, stop, reaches, and they say he is short of the goal line and a turnover on downs for the 3rd time tonight.
Now, were you able to see that, Grump? Were you able
That's
to-
legit. He didn't make it in. Now, are they going to say that the guy's allowed to drag him from the front? I thought you were allowed to push a guy, but you're not allowed to drag him. And here's the thing. He was stopped. Momentum was stopped. As soon as they blow the whistle, the play is over.
Okay, I want you to listen to this one again. So, and I'll show you where the contention comes in and why this is controversial. I want you to listen and watch.
Shoves, drives, stop!
Ball's over the line right there. We haven't heard the whistle yet. I'll let you continue listening.
Reaches!
Then you start hearing Then you start hearing the whistle.
Mayonnaise behind the big fellas. Right, hit, shoves, drives.
He stopped right there. He stopped. He stopped. He stopped. He stopped. You're not allowed to drag a guy from. You can push him, but you can't drag him. He stopped. Did they give him a touchdown? Yes or no?
They did not.
Good. That's the right call. No problem there. Suck it up, Texas, Tennessee.
You know,
Because Josh Heupel, who used to play for Oklahoma as a quarterback, has done a really nice job turning him around in just like a year and a half. Done a good job.
I'll show you from this angle. Give you a little
He
bit
stopped.
more.
Momentum stopped. He stopped. I don't need to see it again. I guess you're on the pro Tennessee side.
Yeah, and I'll let you watch it.
Okay.
And
Play stopped right there. He's down. He stopped. He stopped. He stopped. The guy blew the whistle. The play was over.
Okay, he didn't blow the guy. I do not like the rule to where the play is dead once I consider or once I go through the motions or I'm thinking about blowing the whistle, the play is dead. It's clear right here for the fans, right? And this is why I understand the frustration. The ball goes over the line, then the whistle blows. Dude, get your hands out of your ass. They've got the whistle taped on their hand usually in most cases. You go, whoop.
The linesman doesn't blow that whistle.
I'm just saying, Grump.
The linesman doesn't blow the whistle. The momentum was stopped. He was stopped. It was stopped. He was waving the freaking hands. Then the whistle. He's done right there. He's done. That's a good call right there. I'm going to tell you right. He's done. Momentum has been stopped. Momentum has been stopped. It doesn't matter. It was stopped.
Oh, that's one of those that you hate. You hate. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, Grumpy. The linesman's blowing the whistle right here. The linesman's blowing that whistle, buddy. That being said, I'll tell you, that's one of those where I can get a little. I could see Tennessee's side, and I could see. I do not like the rule as being the play is dead once we think about blowing the whistle, not when the whistle's actually blown. That would piss me off a bit.
Okay, that's a good call. It would have pissed me off if they gave him a touch. He was stopped. He was absolutely stopped. Momentum was stopped on that play. Once it stopped, you can't continue to reach. After the momentum is stopped, you don't reach after the fact. It's not the way it works. Good call, referees. Who were they playing? Did Purdue win, I guess?
Purdue wound up winning. They hit the field goal right at the end, and they wound up winning 48-45. And you see #robbed trending all over the place on Twitter.
Probably in Tennessee.
No, it's trending all over the place, Grump.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Good call. Oh, man, I tell you. I disagree a bit. I think his forward progress was stopped. I don't think the play's
over.
It should be
over.
Play shouldn't be over until the whistle damn blows. You always hear play whistle to whistle.
No.
Play's not over until the whistle's blown.
No,
if their incompetence doesn't get the whistle blown by the time that thing crosses,
I'm sorry. How many times you see a guy, a play is stopped, and then they're shoving him back, then the ball comes out, and then the whistle blows, and they're like, oh, forward momentum was stopped. Because that's the thing. Once forward momentum is stopped, the play is over, regardless of the whistle.
Okay, Grump.
You can't just freeze things in time just the way it is.
I'm just a little upset with the way that's done. I think once the whistle's blown, sure, play's over. But if the ball crosses the line before the whistle's over, don't blame anybody else. Blame the inefficient refs. It's the same thing. Look at it like this. It's like when the referee blows the whistle and a guy picks up a fumble and runs it back. Well, if the referee blows the whistle and a guy picks up the fumble, right, play's over. It's officially marked when the play's over. It doesn't matter if he recovers it for a touchdown. If they didn't think it was a fumble, they thought he was down on the ground, they blow the whistle dead ahead of time. Tough shit, ref screwed up. Tough shit, ref screwed up. I don't know. That's my opinion on it.
You know what I was thinking about? Just eating a spoonful of mayonnaise made me want to throw up right now.
Oh man. Oh
Ugh.
man.
Brutal.
I tell you, Grump. I got a comment here from Jeff E saying here, my wife said she'd love to see Josh Bailey wearing an Apple Watch, making Grumpy a sandwich with mayonnaise and pickles on the side of it. Well, how about one up you, Jeff? How about you just make the sandwich with just a mayo and pickle smoothie?
Oh,
And Grump, here's a question, ladies and gents. Grump, big Islander fan. What happens? You talk about $5 million is what's needed.
yeah, Josh Bailey's salary. I'm willing to get mayonnaise dumped on me for Josh Bailey's salary because, I mean, that's what it would take. He's useless out there, and dumping mayonnaise on me was a useless gesture too.
What if I can promise you, and you're making a deal with the devil, he is going to say you have to drink an 8-ounce mayo and pickle smoothie, an 8-ounce mayo and pickle smoothie. Listen to me first. It could be cold, it could be warm, however you want it served, it will be served. An 8-ounce pickle and mayo smoothie.
No.
But hold on, every single team you support would win their championship of whatever sport it is, whether it's college, NFL, any professional sport. They're going to win every single championship for an entire 2 seasons. So you have 2 years where every team you root for wins the championship.
No. I'm not taking that hit.
That's 2 Stanley Cups.
I don't care.
2 Stanley Cups for the Islanders for an 8-ounce mayo and pickle smoothie.
Ugh. It would take me 2 years to drink that shit. If I had, I'd have to lose my taste buds totally. That's the only thing. No. No. Can't do it. Can't do it.
What if I'm saying I'm going with the Michigan Wolverines? We'll be covering the game live. I think Grumpy and I are pulling a little bit for Michigan, I'll tell you.
I'm rooting for Michigan. I've already seen Alabama destroy Georgia. I don't need to see that again.
And
that's why they should have had that'd be the semifinal game.
Well, I think we're both in the Michigan camp as well. John M saying, Happy New Year, TJ and Grump. Thanks Happy there, New John. Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. If Bailey gets a hat trick, Grump has to rub mayo all over his body, and I'll give $100 to see that.
The price is $5 million, John. That's a long way from 100. It's so gross.
Grumpy, if the Packers win the Super Bowl, will you wear an Aaron Rodgers shirt? The ultimate punishment.
No, I don't have an Aaron Rodgers shirt, so I won't wear that.
Well, let me ask you this.
And here's the thing, they're not winning the Super Bowl.
Real quick, speaking about Aaron Rodgers, did you hear the comments he came out and said recently?
Yep.
Said that he'll have his decision made very quickly this offseason of whether he'll stay in Green Bay, whether he's going to go, or if they win the Super Bowl, he may just retire.
Actually, I'm kind of rooting for them to win a Super Bowl.
So you don't have to see any more Aaron Rodgers?
No more Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they're winning anyway. I don't think Green Bay is that good. I think they could win the NFC, but Kansas City's team to beat.
I can't get over that. I tell you, I'd be shocked if he retires. Even if he wins, I'd still be shocked if he retires. I don't know. I feel like he's still got a few years left in him.
Is he still dating that no shower and rag, Shailene Woodley?
She eats rocks and doesn't use deodorant and whatever all the nasty stuff she does.
She probably bathes in mayonnaise too. Ugh. I mean,
I heard she puts mayo in her hair and she's in an all pickle diet.
Ugh. How gross.
A pickle and onion.
How hideous. How would you like to come home to that every day? Like, honey, I love you, but I hate you. Get out.
John was saying, I'm with you, TJ. Tennessee got robbed. I think so. What a film saying, I'm in on the mayo. And TJ, a.k.a. Musclehead, who's your NFL team? I'm a Giants guy. And he's also saying a ham ketchup relish in a mayo sandwich is the best ever. The mayo and pickles, Grump, is not that bad. He'd do it for $5, Grumpy.
You're a better man than I am. I could not do that ever. I'm like everything he mentioned on there is something I wouldn't eat.
You don't eat ham?
I do not eat ham. We used to have, okay.
You don't eat ketchup?
No, I don't eat ketchup. I don't eat any condiments. None. When I get something, it's freaking plain. Plain. Cheese pizza, plain cheese pizza. Like Kevin from Home Alone.
So you're the stereotypical plain white guy. Doesn't put anything on any of the food he eats.
Plain. Yes.
Oh, good gracious. God almighty, Grump. I want to, as we're still on the topic of college football, who would figure that dumping mayo on South Carolina's head coach would would take over the first bit of our podcast. But Grump, I want to talk about the college football playoff matchups we're going to see tomorrow. First one of the day is going to be Cincinnati against Alabama. I know you've already kind of told us which way you're leaning, but what do you see as the outcome of that game?
Alabama in a runaway. It won't be close. It might be close for a quarter, but that'll be it. It'll be over. Here's the thing. It all depends on if Alabama comes out to play like they did against Georgia. They had an up and down season, lost to Texas A&M, their only loss this year, but they didn't look great in a lot of other games that they wound up winning. But they came out to play against Georgia. And I have to think that they're going to come out to play against Cincinnati.
I think so. Not only do we think talent goes in favor of the Alabama Crimson Tide, I think coaching goes in favor of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think experience matters in this situation. For these young men, I mean, they, for the most part, right? You played high school football, you got to the state championship, and now we're playing college football, and we make it to a few bowl games. Playing in the college football playoffs is a whole different animal, and you talk about what nerves there could be for that as well. And you've got a team that I think is outmatched without the experience, and I just think it's going to get ugly. The funny thing is, I know the wide receiver coach of Cincinnati the Cincinnati Bearcats, and I still think they're going to get absolutely smashed. I used to know them pretty well. But I tell you, Grump, I think the first one, blowout. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Michigan Wolverines against the Georgia Bulldogs. Who do you have in that matchup? I think that has a chance to be a really, really close game, and I think a real defensive battle. I don't think that's going to be a high-scoring game.
I don't think so either. I don't think Georgia's really good enough offensively. The key to the game is going to rest on Georgia's ability. Actually, I'm not even going to say Georgia's ability to stop the Michigan run game. It's Michigan being able to run on that Georgia front. That's going to be the key to the game right there. If they can't run on Georgia, they're not winning.
Well, that Georgia front is damn good. I mean, I don't see that's going to happen. If that's a key to the game for you, that's a real uphill battle for them.
Yeah, I don't think that Michigan's offensive line is big enough to handle Georgia's D line. That's what I think it comes down to, honestly. Here's the thing. I hope I'm wrong because I'm rooting for Michigan. I really am. And I wasn't rooting for Michigan till TJ thought that Jim Harbaugh was going to be fired if he didn't beat Ohio State.
Jesus Christ. Here we go again. Taking everything I say out of context and cherry picking my words. Something, Grumpy, you do very well.
You don't like the fact that I use your words against you. I'm sorry.
No, it's not that. Get the hell out of here. I think I'm pulling for Michigan too. Georgia, I think we've seen it. How many more times do I have to see the same exact song and dance? Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs just do not have what it takes to beat the Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't know if it's just like that's their kryptonite. It's just a team that they never match up well. Maybe it's the head coach. Maybe Smart just has it in his head that, we're never going to beat them. And maybe the team has that mindset a bit. But I do not want to see another Georgia-Alabama rematch. I think Alabama is the best team in the nation by a country mile. And it's funny. I just think that Georgia's quarterback, Bennett, is not the answer, but the keys to the game is right. I think that Michigan has to be able to establish the run game. McNamara has to play well. He's got to be poised in the pocket and not make bad mistakes. It is going to be a defensive duel, no doubt about it. And I think that game is going to be very interesting. That's why we're going to be doing that game and covering it live, Grumpy.
That's the reason? Okay.
Yeah. And speaking about this, I mean,
we have fun on those. TJ gets into announcer mode. And he's actually pretty good at it. I have to say he's pretty good at it when he goes into announcer mode. So
I will say, I appreciate that, Grump. I will say that, lost my train of thought. I will say that the SEC has been struggling this year in the college bowl games. South Carolina was the first SEC team to win a college bowl game so far. I think they're 1-5 so far this bowl season. Tomorrow obviously could change that if you get 2 wins in the biggest stage. That's obviously important. But I was a little shocked. 1-5 for the SEC in bowl games so far.
Well, their lower level teams are playing against better teams from other conferences. So, that's how that works. The fact that all their teams except for one made it into bowl game has something to do about it.
Okay. Fair enough, Grump. I just wanted to mention it. I thought it was interesting, a little tidbit to talk about. You've got here what a film's saying. You've got to admit, Grumpy, timing is an important thing, and the Cowboys look really good right now.
They look good beating Washington. They're beating the teams they're supposed to, the lesser teams. Remember, the schedule was mighty good to them this year. Let's see what happens when the playoffs come. They have a tough game against Arizona this weekend. Arizona's on a 3-game slide. As far as I'm concerned, the Cowboys should put them away. If they don't, well, then you're learning more about the Cowboys than you really want to know.
I'm thinking
they have been playing well recently. Yes.
I'm thinking Arizona is a little bit more of a pretender than what we had originally had thought and bought into. I mean, they've really struggled in the second half of this season.
And with those struggles, I think it's all directly related to Kyler Murray just being, he's just a smaller player. And I think he wears down over the course of the season. He always comes out gangbusters, but by the end, he's kind of struggling. And that's because he's just a small guy, takes some punishment. And, when you're smaller, you don't recover so quick.
John M. saying, Grump, the SEC will win the championship. Cincinnati doesn't have the defense to beat Bama. I was about to say, it's going to be, I'm saying Alabama will win by 20 plus. And I think that's a conservative estimate. I think 20 plus.
Yeah, I don't know what the line is, but I'm taking Alabama given the points. I mean, Cincinnati's big team that they had to battle this year was Houston, right? Houston was 11-2.
Well, Cincinnati's biggest team they played was Notre Dame.
I'm saying in conference.
Okay.
They played Houston twice and beat them, but that was a tough game for them, was the Houston game. And Houston barely beat a 6-6 Auburn team. So, how good are they? Not very.
Let me show you the spread. I tell you, Grumpy. Let me show you the spread. It is
14.5.
It's 13.5.
Yeah, I'm taking Alabama every day with that.
I was about to say, I think it's a safe bet. You can assume that Bama will win by more than 2 touchdowns. But I think, hey, Grump, you know what that is? That's actually a pretty good job and a pretty good chance to segue into our ad, Grumpy old man.
There you go.
Do you know who we have as an advertiser, Grump? Do you remember?
I do. DraftKings.
Yes, absolutely. It's DraftKings. Hockey fans, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has a no-brainer offer that will make you a winner once any shot gets past the goalie. New customers can bet just $1 on any NHL game and win 100 in free bets if either team scores. The NHL got rid of ties in 2005, so somebody is going to light the lamp. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, no worries. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy hockey contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code THPN and throw down $1 on any NHL game and win 100 in free bets if either team scores a goal. That's promo code THPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. You must be 21 years or older in New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum of a $5 deposit and a $1 wager is required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Because he's a gambler. Okay, good. You messed up the ad. That's okay. You're doing okay.
Oh, I didn't mess up the ad. Get the hell out of here.
You bumbled over it at the beginning as usual.
Oh, man.
You're rumbling, stumbling, bumbling all over.
The spread, Alabama, I think, is going to beat the spread, right? There's no way that they don't win by more than 2 touchdowns. There's no way they don't win by 2 touchdowns or more.
Yeah, I think that's for certain. Now, the over and under 57, that's close.
And again, like this, I know this is not the only. I'm sure there's other spreads as well, and but this is the one I'm seeing here on Sports Connection. And but Grumpy, back to comments. Tony G saying starting this podcast with a Mayo discussion is the equivalent of first acts in Stanley Kubrick's movies.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm not sure who Stanley Kubrick is.
Oh, did you really just say that out loud? Did you really say that out loud?
Yes, I did.
You don't know who Stanley Kubrick was?
Oh, yeah, I guess he's dead. So no, I don't know who he was.
Okay, he was a movie director. He directed Spartacus, Path of Glory, The Shining, and no, not The Shining. I'm sorry, 2001, The Space Odyssey, Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut. He was a good director. It took him a long time to shoot a movie, though. A long time.
I'm about to say
And he did do The Shining. Yes, he directed The Shining also. Yeah. Yeah.
quite big. That's quite a few big.
Barry Lyndon, which was really, really good. Yep, that's him. He's dead now. He don't look that good anymore. So,
Well, he probably decomposed now, Crump.
yeah, he certainly is.
The Wolverines will beat the Bulldogs, says John M. The Bulldogs had an easy schedule. Their offense is too inconsistent. I feel like that is the biggest issue for Georgia. I don't think Bennett's a good quarterback. Quarterback play is wildly inconsistent.
Michigan's going to have to be able to run the ball, though. That's a key for Michigan. Run the ball.
You want to know what's going to sound like one of these, speaking of platitudes, explosive plays, and how the offensive line and defensive line play is going to determine the outcome of this game. I really do believe that, though.
Yeah,
explosive plays, and what team is going to make mistakes will have a big bearing. So big bearing on this outcome. Where Alabama can make mistakes tomorrow, and they're still going to walk away with the victory over Cincinnati. They could play. Not necessarily up to the standard of Alabama football, and I still think they beat Cincinnati.
True. And Michigan has those two defensive ends who've been really, really productive this year, who should give Bennett some problems. But I mean, the lines are so good. The defensive line for Georgia is outstanding. It really is.
Side note: the Wolverines is one of the most toughest, most vicious animals on the planet. They tear apart any bulldog. What a film. He's also saying Noah Dobson's looked great tonight, and he's also scored another goal. He scored a goal. 1 goal and 2 assists so far tonight for Noah Dobson. Remember when I said that I would sign Noah Dobson to an 8-year deal if we'd let him for $7 million, and people call me freaking nuts and crazy?
Here's the thing. He's able, if Barry Trotz lets him, takes the shackles off, Noah Dobson could be a star. He'd certainly be our best defenseman. He's effortless going up and down the ice. Reminds me a little bit of Larry Robinson with how quickly he covers just a few strides and he's in the opponent's zone. I mean, he's just really good. He's still really, really young. Just give him a chance. Let him play.
John M. saying Bama was favored by 18. I cannot believe they've tightened the spread as it got closer to game time. But
well, you know why that happens, right? It's wherever the money goes on. Then Vegas changes the spread. They're really good at the initial spread. Yeah. They have guys who are really good at that. And then it depends on where the money is. If too much money goes on one team, they lower the odds or they up the odds depending on, where the money's going. So this way they don't want to come out losing. That's for certain. Now I'm going to say this. If Cincinnati winds up winning, they're going to take a bath.
If Cincinnati wins, I'd be shocked, and I seriously, hats off to him. I'd just be in utter shock. I just can't see that. I cannot see a reality with Cincinnati beating Alabama. Just can't see it.
No, me neither. I watched Cincinnati play in their championship game. I'm like, this team sucks.
They're a good team, but in the college football playoffs, all those teams, Michigan has really overperformed this year. Georgia's at a different level. Alabama's at a different level. Michigan's at a different level. Every single one of those teams would beat Cincinnati.
If they played in the SEC or the Big Ten this year, they'd have 4 losses.
I was about to say 4 or 5 losses, depending on how certain breaks went their way.
Yeah.
John M. saying here, Dobson skates like Paul Coffey.
I don't know about that. He's a really good skater. Coffey was outstanding. But, I mean, Dobson has that stride. He reminds me of Larry Robinson. That's who he reminds me of. Just his ability to just a few strides, and he's out of his zone and the other team's zone.
What a film saying, well, guys, my son Chase is a big fan of the show, and he spent Christmas getting his appendix removed.
Oh, jeez.
He said, he's home today. Just give him a shout out. He loves you both. Well, hopefully Chase should get better.
I mean, if you have to go into a hospital and have surgery, having your appendix out, Chase, is a good one because it's a useless organ. You're never going to use it. And, here's another thing. You never have to worry about your appendix growing back or, anything bad happening with your appendix. So good for you. I'm glad you're home. Give your dad a hard time. That's what he's there for. And hope you get better soon.
Oh, absolutely. Last football item to talk about, kind of unexpected, kind of not, grumpy old man. John Madden passed away at the age of 85. Now, I will say the reason I say it's kind of not unexpected, I thought it was odd that like 2 weeks ago they had this huge documentary on John Madden where you had players of old and players of new and current players talking about John Madden, the impact he's had on football. And I was like, why are they rolling this out now? I feel like they had to have known that John Madden's health was in some sort of decline, and that's why they determined to go ahead and to have that documentary.
Well, he was 85. And honestly, I thought about him recently. It's funny. TJ, I've told you before, I have like a sixth sense. When people are getting ready to die, I think about them. I thought about John Madden last week. I think I even mentioned to you that I was thinking about John Madden even before the show that I didn't see. But I've been thinking about him, and I thought about when I met him. He was a big guy. A big burly guy, ruddy faced. Just looked like an old Irishman to me.
Everybody knows John Madden. It doesn't even matter if you're a sports fan, a football fan, NFL fan. If you showed a picture of John Madden and you asked, who is this? I want to say 75, 80% of the United States population would know who John Madden is.
Here's the interesting thing. When I think of John Madden, I think of football coach. You look at anybody like your age, you probably think video game, right?
Everybody thinks a video game. He was always on the face of the video game for many, many years.
To me, that was nothing. And for another segment, like, in your 40s and, 30s, you're probably thinking, oh, the announcer. Where to me, he was always the football coach. Remember the Raiders, when I was a kid, they were my favorite team. Loved the silver and black, just loved the Darryl LaMonica as quarterback and Snake Stabler and George Blanda coming in 1971, all that stuff. I could tell you everybody who played for those Raider teams, they always lost to Pittsburgh or Miami. But John Madden was a great coach, and they'd lose in the AFC Championship game every freaking year. But that's what I remember is him being coach of the Raiders. That's what I always remember him as.
Kenny the Snake Stabler. And the funny thing is, Kenny Stabler died, was it 2 years ago, last year, something around that time?
It's a few years ago now. Yeah. It's a few years ago. He got posthumously, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I'm like, Kenny Stabler was like one of the top couple of quarterbacks in the NFL when he played. I don't understand what the delay getting a guy like that into the Hall of Fame. You got to do that when people are alive, not when they're dead. I'm sorry. And I think I sent you something on the guys who were potential Hall of Fame candidates. I'm like, were any of these guys really that good?
Are you talking about the class? Yeah, the breaking 15 modern era player list for the 20.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
We'll talk about that. There's a lot to talk about, so we're going to cover that next time. I see a few names, and I think to myself, really? And other names, I'm like, I could see that, but Jesus, you throw out names like Jared Allen, and I'm sorry, there's certain names that don't do it for me. But we'll talk about that later because that's a whole different topic of discussion, Grump.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, definitely was odd. And
think about those Raider games, and they all had names. That's because the Raiders were in some unbelievable games. They always seem to lose a lot of them. The Immaculate Reception game, the Goats to the Post where they beat Baltimore, the Sea of Hands game where they beat Miami, who was two-time defending Super Bowl champion. Then they lose the next week to Pittsburgh. Just the Holy Roller game against San Diego. All those games, the Raiders were always in games with names because the Raiders were really a tremendous team, a lot of penalties. You watch some of that old footage and you see the way those guys were hitting their defensive backs. And it's like, man, they'd have no salary by the end of the year. But they played tough, and they say, they used to stretch the rules like a rubber band. Stretch them a little bit. Phil Valpiano told a story about how they had a guy who was really good at putting in gloves and stuff like that. And he wanted putting casts on their arms, and he, hit guys with punches and stuff like that. They were just fantastic stuff. And the good old days of football, that's for sure. But they weren't the only team. They weren't the only team who did that stuff.
I tell you,
much tougher game back then.
For sure.
Quarterback. If you were a quarterback and you lasted until you were 35, holy shit, no one believed that.
What a film saying, thanks, guys. Well said, Grump. The appendix is useless. Thus, toughen them up a bit.
There you go. That's all you care about.
John
No
P.
shots to the ribs for a couple of weeks, though.
John P. saying, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, gentlemen. I was in California for Christmas. I've been out of the loop for a while. Islanders looking good, though, tonight. Rest in peace to Coach John Madden. He's an icon.
Just remember, it was against Buffalo. I'm just going to say it's a game against Buffalo.
Yeah. Varley looked really good tonight also. His glove hand is razor sharp, says What a Films.
It's Buffalo.
Drew L. saying, will you guys be streaming on New Year's Day? I probably will do the Islanders, I know, but we'll have to, Grump and I are going to have to talk about that. We'll have an answer for during tomorrow's game of what we'll be doing on New Year's Day, stream wise, college football wise, if we're going to have a lot of those covered or not, but we'll discuss that. We'll have it during tomorrow's live stream of Georgia against the Michigan Wolverines. John M. saying, being a Dolphins fan, I hated them for beating Miami in 1973.
I think it was 74 they beat them. I think the Dolphins won.
73 season.
Okay. Because the Dolphins won the Super Bowl in 72 and 73. 74, that's when Pittsburgh started winning.
Fair enough.
And listen, another thing. This thing is beeping all the time. This little watch thing. It's beeping. Bzz, bop, bloop.
You know you can put that on a buzz feature, right?
I don't know how to do that. It's a struggle for me.
I figure.
Hey, easy on the liquids, pal. We packed the rubber sheets.
74, John M. says.
You can be Fuller. That could be your nickname is Fuller.
John M. saying that catch at the end of the game was brutal.
And the worst thing was that Clarence Davis couldn't even catch a cold. If you listen to him tell his story, he couldn't catch anything. They showed some of these things on NFL Network the last couple of days. And, he was the last guy you'd want trying to catch the ball. And it was a great catch by him. Really good. And you hear the Dolphins whining and crying about it at the end. Oh, well, we had injuries. Shut up. I've never seen a bunch of whinier bitches in those Dolphins and their fans.
Shots fired by the grumpy old man.
Where's Alexander when you need him?
Oh, goodness, Grump. Want to show you, because we've got a few items to tell you. Now, did you happen to see that Bruce Boudreau he might be breaking NHL, or might be writing a new spot in the NHL record book for the longest win streak being tenured with a new team.
Good for him. He's a good coach. Seems like Vancouver's a talented team. I just didn't think Travis Green was a very good coach.
He's got the longest winning streak in NHL history to begin a tenure with his new team.
Good for him.
Now he's got 7 games. Can he win? The Vancouver Canucks play the Los Angeles Kings tonight. Do you think they can win the 8th game in a row and make him a top of the heap?
Yes, I think they can.
Oh, is that so?
Yes. Maybe your question is, will they?
Will they? I don't know.
I think they will too.
Now, let me ask you this too. You talk about how good of a coach Bruce Boudreau is. Now, does it speak more to the ability of Bruce Boudreau or the ineptitude of Travis Green when you see that he's got 7 games, 1 in a row so far as a new head coach, and possibly, going and vying for win number 8?
A lot of times coaches have an expiration date, right?
Expiration date, yes.
Expiration, that's what I said.
They said exploration because you usually like to explore.
I know, but that's not what I said. I said expiration date. And where the team just kind of stops listening to you. And I think that's what happened with Travis Green. Everyone forgets a couple of years ago, they went pretty far in the NHL playoffs and looked like they were poised to maybe take that next step. And it just didn't happen. And I think that's what you're seeing with Vancouver this year, because they do have a lot of young talent. And Bruce Boudreau seems to be able to push the right buttons right now. And that's all, if you're a Vancouver fan, you can hope for, honestly. So good for Vancouver fans, good for Vancouver.
I think it's good for the NHL.
Good for Bruce Boudreau as well.
I think it's good for the NHL too. I think that team is very talented, and Travis Green has just been so underwhelming as their head coach. It's just been, I think he's been this. I know they went far into playoffs 2 years ago, but he struggled last year. He's struggling this year, and I think the team with all that talent and a Canadian team, I think it's good for the NHL when they play well.
Yes, I think same thing.
Now, Grump, we don't talk about this all that often, but I want to talk a little bit about the NBA. Look at this. LeBron James, 37 years old now, and he's averaging 28 points a game, by far the most by a player at age 37 or later in NBA history. Now, I want to ask you this. You talk about timeless classics and legends of the game, right? Definitely a legend in basketball and the NBA. How long do you think that you could still see LeBron James putting up crazy amount of points per games and gaudy numbers like this?
I don't know what you consider gaudy numbers. I think the fact that he's averaging 28 points a game at the age of 37, halfway through the season or close to halfway through the season, is a compliment to him being able to keep himself physically fit, in good shape, and his dedication to his craft. Because he's not a guy who's like you have James Harden, Russell Westbrook. They're just volume scorers. They'll shoot 50, 60 shots a night. That's not what LeBron James does. So for him, it's even more special. So it's hard to believe that he's 37 years old, to be honest with you. That's the thing that I find. It's like, wow, he's 37. I remember when he came into the league.
I'm about to say, everybody can remember when he was drafted. Yeah. And you think to yourself, I'm like, I can even tick the clock back to when he was drafted. And man, oh man, it's nuts. Yeah. Nuts to think he's 37. His kid will be eligible. I think his kid, what does he go to college next year? And then he could be possibly playing with his dad.
Well, I don't think he's got a GM ship in LA. So I don't see him. Here's the thing. I'm not picking LeBron James's kid to be on the same team with his dad. That's for
Bronny Jr. You're not gonna. You don't want to match up Bronny Jr. I think they call him Bronny Jr.
Freaking way. He runs that team enough as it is. What is it? So who are you going to sit to play his kid?
Oh no, I'm sorry. His name is Bronny James. Yeah, he's going to college next year, I assume. I don't know if he's talented.
I think he can play until he's 40. I think.
Really?
I think he can. Sure.
Wow.
Is he the same guy he was 10 years ago? No, but he's still a really good NBA player. He does a lot of. He's not just a scorer or an assist guy. Assist guys can last a long time. He's a power forward. I mean, that's a lot of wear and tear on the body.
I want to show you this. I'm not sure if you got to see this. Speaking about, you always talk about, I don't think you like James Harden very much, Grump. Well, let me ask you this. What's your opinion on James Harden?
I don't dislike James Harden. I'm just saying he's a volume scorer. He likes to shoot the ball a lot. That's what he likes to do, shoot the ball.
Well, I want you to watch this and see if you have any change of opinion on James Harden about this play as well. And if you think that's intentional or not. They'll show us the replay on a larger screen, but
okay.
I want to ask you first, do you think when he was trying to go ahead and create separation, do you think he purposefully hit him in the nuts? I wish watch this in slow motion.
I don't think that I didn't realize he got hit in the nuts on the first glance. I thought he got hit in the stomach. Yeah, that'll drop you to your knees.
So you think intentional?
Yeah. Now here's the thing. That should have been a foul.
He's just trying to go ahead and put a shoulder, and he got really low, and he's just trying to put a shoulder on him.
I think he might have. Well, I'm not going to say his thing. He's committed. The guy eases up. Maybe he was looking just to lower the shoulder, but the guy eases up and stops as opposed to driving at him. Maybe he's trying to draw a foul. Remember, Harden is one of those guys who loves to draw the contact and then just start chucking it up from anywhere. They've kind of tapered down on those calls this year, but he certainly got him low. Now,
he lands on his fingers afterwards too.
That's got to be a foul. It has to be an offensive foul.
It was a flagrant one, I believe.
Okay, well then he got called on it, which is good. I don't know. I don't think he deliberately hit him in the lower region.
Think he did. I think he certainly hit him in the nuts. I think he definitely smacked him in the nuts. That's where you and I disagree a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was definitely looking to hit him to back him off. I don't think he's because I mean, look, he went at him like this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think he was just trying to lay the shoulder into him. That's what I think he was trying to do. I don't think He's not even looking. So it's like, I mean, he was trying to draw contact or initiate contact for certain, but I don't think he was trying to hit him low. It just happened. I mean, his hand is limp there. It's not even like a fist or anything.
I don't know, Grump. I think it was intentional, and I think he was trying to draw contact in some capacity, but he's just like, oh, here, hold on a second. I've got a chance to hit him in a vulnerable area. Let me go ahead and make it look like I just throw, my arms moving. I'm moving my arms as part of my normal rhythm here as I'm dribbling the basketball, because I always move my arms like this when I'm dribbling my basketball. I don't know, Grump.
Like I said, he was caught in between. I think he wanted to kind of lower the shoulder a little bit, hope to draw some contact. I don't think he hit him low on purpose, though.
But you've passed, right? You're passing him. He's not, look at the way he's standing. You're going to pass him. And what's to stop you from going, oh, I'm going to go ahead and tuck my arm and just maneuver right around you? Instead, he says, screw it, baby. I'm going to hit him right here in the soft spot. I mean, dude, that's right on the nuts, man. It's not even like you hit him. Think about this.
It was maybe
step back, and maybe he's trying to step back and shoot a three, but still.
It's almost worse. Those little graze jobs that you get hit with, like the little.
I don't know, dude. This freaking hurts. Look at the way his arm is contorted, smashing into his nuts. That's got to hurt.
Yeah, okay. If you freeze frame it like that, that's not what he was doing. Oh, let me see. Hold on, I can torque my arm. No, but you know what I'm saying? If you hit a guy straight on, it's like the Titanic. If the Titanic would have hit that iceberg straight on, it would have still stayed upright. But it was that little graze job that just tears everything in the undercarriage. Those are the ones that are really painful. And you don't feel it for a second. It's almost like whoop, 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 and then you collapse. That's why I think maybe it was a graze job. They're worse than hitting straight on. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, good gracious, good gracious. John M saying Milbury called Travis Green a gutless puke when he played on Long Island. He
did.
Coached like one.
Okay.
I love it, John. Oh man, I tell you, something else. And then you got What a Film saying, what times are you guys on tomorrow? I've got to hunt some deer with Charlie. Look forward to the show tomorrow. We'll be live during the Georgia. What is it? It's 7:00 Eastern Standard Time, right?
I think it's 7:30. I think it's 7:30.
7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be on a little before the game, but around 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll be on tomorrow. The deer will all be sleeping by then. So
they are. They're usually asleep by then.
Alexander saying, hey guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. Nice win tonight by the boys. I'll tell you, Bellows look good.
He's somehow going to find his way back on the bench. You watch.
Goal and assists, not enough. I mean, you think about it. He's got 7 points in 13 games so far this year. As a young guy like that performing.
You know what? He deserves to play all the time. Sit one of the fossils, dump them. That's why you don't need to sign every veteran in their 30s back. Let your young guys start coming up and playing. That's why you have them. That's how you recycle your team on the fly. We don't believe in that.
I'll tell you now, here's apparently Chris Sims had some comments there. I'll let you listen to them.
Because there was not, I would love to shove it up all the Miami Dolphin fans. You know what, though? Shove it where the sun don't shine. Because there was not great respect. I mean, in fact, the Miami fans way more respect Tua, who's done nothing than they did. Here we go. Yeah, sorry. Oh, eat it, Tuanon. Eat it, Tuanon. Eat it.
I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but apparently this is all Chris Sims is upset with Miami talking about that because Ryan Tannehill says he's got no ill feelings towards the Dolphins, and he's thankful for his time in Miami. But I guess Chris Sims did not have the same exact reception.
I don't know. I mean, isn't that nice that Fitzpatrick? I'm sorry,
Tannehill.
Yeah, Tannehill has no ill feelings towards Miami. I mean, isn't that kind of there's no story there?
No, Chris Sims. Chris Sims is the guy speaking, Grump.
I know that, but Tannehill said that he had no ill feelings, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, Chris Sims had a much different experience.
Yeah, well, Chris Sims was not a great player.
Chris Sims is a miserable quarterback. He was awful. He was a career journeyman at best.
Yeah, he was tough though.
Oh shit! I don't give a shit if he's tough or not. He's a bad quarterback, bad NFL quarterback.
He's better than Tua is now.
Oh man, honestly, when he says stuff like that, it sounds like he's jealous that Tua gets so much love for a mediocre quarterback when he did not in Miami. Is what it sounds like. He sounds salty as shit.
Well, I mean,
That's my opinion on it.
Miami's had a quarterback issue since Dan Marino left.
Yes.
I mean, that's just those are just facts.
Mhm.
And everyone gets compared to Dan Marino. And
Even
right or wrong,
Drew Brees didn't really succeed in Miami either.
well, he was never given a shot there. They didn't sign him. They did not have the guts to sign him. They could have signed him. That was what everyone said. Drew Brees to Miami. That's a given. They didn't do it. And he wound up going to New Orleans, and the rest was history. And his thing, I don't think Drew Brees was a great quarterback. I thought he was really, really good, and he benefited playing in a dome. He didn't have the best arm in the world, but those guys can survive in a dome where there's no elements. They always get exposed when they go outside.
Right. For whatever reason, I thought he was traded. I remember he used to. What did he play? Where did he
San
play?
Diego.
San Diego.
He was drafted by San Diego.
And he played a few years in San Diego.
And they picked Rivers over Breeze.
That's right.
But see, what should they have done? They should have traded Breeze. You don't let him go to get the free agency. You don't let that happen. You move a guy, and then you keep the other guy. Whoever you decide is your quarterback, you trade the other one. That's what you got to do.
He's saying he can't stand James Harden. And Drew L saying here, Grump, Josh Bailey had the most invisible 2-point game of his career.
We must have scored 70 goals tonight for that to be the case.
Jesus. Alexander saying, Grump, the Patriots are going down in week 18 to the Dolphins.
All I'm going to say is that Miami has played some really weak teams during their winning streak. I'm not saying they can't beat the Patriots. They seem to always have that end of the year game in Miami, and they beat the Patriots. So we'll see what happens.
You know what the problem is in sports right now? Grumpy isn't coaching. Grump, you're a legend.
Thank you so much.
I think Chris Sims has no respect for Tannehill, and Tua is ahead of Tannehill in his second year.
Okay, but they were poorly coached back then. They didn't have a coach either. They've been a franchise in disarray for a long time. They got the wrong people in charge. And that, I guess you got to blame the owner, right? I mean, I don't even know who it is anymore. I think Robbie sold the team to somebody, didn't he? Or maybe it was Heizengi sold it to, and then they sold it to somebody else. I don't even know who the owner is anymore. The biggest mistake they made was when they drafted Tua over Justin Herbert. That was a colossal blunder.
We said it then, and
we called that immediately. I could not believe it. Everything was saying Tua. I'm like, man, Tua doesn't impress me. The Herbert kid always impressed me, but he had that bias.
Imagine how much further Miami would be if they had Herbert. Again, they've put off a huge winning streak, and they've been successful as of recent. I'm just saying, with Herbert, I'd argue that you'd have 10 wins already this year. You'd be 10-5, or you maybe have 11 wins. I mean, with 2 weeks left in the season.
He's a better quarterback than Tua is.
He is. John M. He's okay. You wouldn't have lost that game in London. I mean, he's also not injury prone. Tua's missed some time this year as well. Not a lot, but he's missed some time. He's missed time every year.
He's the human injury.
John M, though, saying Tannehill didn't have an offensive line at all. If he had one, he would still be there today.
See, I don't think Tannehill's that great a quarterback either. I think he benefits
bad, and I think last year was just it's an anomaly. Tannehill's not a good quarterback, and last year's production was an anomaly.
He benefits from having Derrick Henry as his running back.
For certain.
When you're able to run the ball the way that they can run it, it opens up the passing game because they really have to devote extra reinforcements to stop Derrick Henry. And which opens up plays, opens up play action. Play action should be devastating for them. And he's got some weapons there. You know, he's got the Brown kid who's really good. Julio Jones has been a bust, but A.J. Brown's the real deal. So,
yeah,
just kind of is what it is.
What a film saying TJ knows his football would make a great NFL analyst. See you guys tomorrow. See you.
TJ is really good at that. He really is. He's really good at it. Better than me.
Well, honestly. you play it for so many years. Yeah, it's just one of those things you pick up on.
Yeah, but seriously, you have a real good way of explaining it to people.
Well, I appreciate that.
Grumpy. I feel like Josh Bailey when TJ's describing football games. Just a freaking sidecar.
Oh, well.
I'm just looking for some type of comedy to throw in there because he shoots down everything I say, even though I'm right. Well, you haven't never played before, old man.
I try not to say that. If I do, I try not to say that because you can't quote from saying I've got experience, therefore your opinion doesn't matter. I try not to say that. If I do, I apologize. But and I appreciate the kind words, Woulda and Grumpy. Drew L saying Tua's a bust. Should have drafted Herbert. Yeah, I don't disagree. The Tribe is saying Grumpy over Kyle Shanahan.
No, Kyle Shanahan's a better coach than I am.
Fair enough.
But in the big game, I'd be better than he was. But X's and O's, he's pretty good, but he doesn't have something in the big game. And a lot of guys don't.
Alexander says, sorry, Herbert would not be good on this team. Herbert has a losing record, and he benefits from the weapons. Any quarterback can put up stats. Look at Jeff George.
No, Alexander. I love you. I really do. But you are 100% wrong here.
I think
he's an answer for any team at quarterback. Any team.
He's young. There's a lot of reasons still to be impressed about him. But think about this. Yeah, does Herbert benefit from having guys like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler? For certain. I mean, we'd lie if we say he doesn't. But look at a lot of the good quarterbacks. A lot of the good quarterbacks have fantastic weapons around them. Yep. I mean, just look at Tom Brady, right? Brady's a great quarterback, but it definitely helps that he's got, when everybody's healthy, he's got Chris Godwin. He'll have Mike Evans. He'll have Antonio Brown. He'll have Rob Gronkowski. I mean, those are a lot of weapons around him. And it's the same thing with Dak Prescott in Dallas, right? He definitely benefits from having Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Schultz, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. He benefits from having good weapons around him. Every quarterback does, but I think Herbert's he's a more than competent quarterback. He's already a top half quarterback in the league. I mean, 15 plus in his second year in the NFL.
He's top 10. He's top 10 for me.
I'd say even if you don't like Herbert, he's still a top half. He's above the majority of quarterbacks in the NFL his second year in the league.
I don't think you can name 10 quarterbacks better than him. Just can't. To me, he's borderline. Man, I want to say talent-wise, if you're starting an NFL team tomorrow, who are you picking as your quarterback?
Okay, that's different. That's different than who could I name 10 quarterbacks better than him? Would you say Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback?
Right now, yes.
Would you say Tom Brady is a better quarterback? Would you say Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback? Would you say, yes.
He has not had a great year this year, but yes, I'd say Mahomes.
Would you say that Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback at the moment?
Nope. No freaking way. I take Justin Herbert. Think about the weapons that Matthew Stafford has.
He's got weapons. Again, he's got weapons, I know.
Yeah.
I'm saying, right, I get it. Herbert's thrown for the second most passing yards in the league, 33 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I'm just saying you could argue. I could see some people arguing 10 quarterbacks above Justin Herbert. I'm just saying on anybody's list, I could not see any human in the population that watches football that could argue him below 15. That's all I'm saying.
I don't, there's no way he's not in top 10 for me. He's probably maybe 6 for me.
Drew L saying here, Baker Mayfield, Tannehill, Carson Wentz, they're all the same quarterback. They're game managers who benefit from the run game.
Yeah, none of those guys who are starters are better than Justin Herbert.
And then Alexander saying here, Tannehill had an offensive line, also had Landry, Parker, Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, and benefited from J.H.I. in 2016.
I don't think their offensive
J.H.I. had 1 year. He had 1 year. Then he went to the Eagles and then disappeared.
Yeah.
He had 1 year. Stop with Tua as a bust. I've seen Tua elevate guys while Herbert chokes when the game's on the line.
Here's the thing.
Better line to it, or Justin Herbert does.
That's debatable. Their offensive line is bad.
Herbert's not elite yet. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, Tua. Alexander's the only guy who would still say Tua over Herbert. Even Tua's mom called up and said, "No, you got to pick Herbert."
Drew L saying, TJ, let me ask you this. What was Keenan Allen and Mike Williams doing when Tyrod Taylor and old Phillip Rivers were their quarterback? Well, both of those quarterbacks are bad quarterbacks. I think that Keenan Allen.
Phillip Rivers was not a bad quarterback.
Towards the end, Phillip Rivers was bad. His last year in San Diego, maybe it was Los Angeles at that time. They were bad.
His last year was at Indianapolis.
No, his last year in San Diego is what I'm saying. His last year, I know, was in Indianapolis, but his last year with the Chargers, he was really freaking bad. He was awful, man. He was awful. Not. His last year with the Chargers, he was miserable, Phillip Rivers.
I disagree. You'll have to pull those numbers up when we go to another comment. You can look that up because I didn't think his numbers were as atrocious as you're making him sound. Now, his last year in Indianapolis was not good, but Phillip Rivers was a good quarterback. Mike Williams.
Okay. Last year for the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers that time, 5-11, had 4,615 yards, 23 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. I'm saying that is definitely not good. He was really freaking bad.
And he threw for 4,600 yards. Okay, it's because they had no running game.
Okay, the guy threw for 4,000 yards every single year from 2013 on, even last year in Indianapolis. The guy always throws the ball a lot.
Okay, I don't. You can say Tyrod Taylor is not a good quarterback. Phillip Rivers was a good quarterback, without a doubt. He was. I mean, he was top, 6 or 7 forever and ever. Mike Williams he'll have good games, but he just kind of runs out of gas, it seems like to me, every year. Keenan Allen is a good possession receiver, really good.
When it films, hey, we'll end the quarterback talk. He just says, Brady, best quarterback that ever played the game. And I'm not a fan, but I have to admit the truth.
And think about all the years he was with New England and had no weapons and was still leading them to division title year after year, conference games, Super Bowls with just marginal talent on the outside, maybe 1, maybe 2 receivers. That's the mark of a truly great quarterback.
Speaking about something that
Rodgers, Rodgers is like that too.
I want to speak about something that, Rodgers really didn't have a lot of weapons. And I mean, Adams has been the first.
Okay, that's the one receiver, and the other guys are just scraps.
I mean, like Jordy Nelson was a guy who benefited from Rodgers, like your little, short white possession wide receiver who doesn't do anything really great.
He wasn't a possession guy. He was pretty big. He had good speed on the outside, but he's had one guy and the rest are complementary pieces. Very similar to what Brady had in New England all those years.
Joel said, imagine if Michael Pittman had a legitimate quarterback.
Yeah, they need somebody better than Carson Wentz. But that's a team that's predicated on running the ball also, right? You have Jonathan Taylor. You're going to be running the ball most of the time. The run sets up the pass for them, not the other way around.
Got one more, Alexander. I'm not talking anymore. Tua Tagovailoa. This is the last time we're talking about Tua for right now. He's talking about the winning, the best career quarterback winning percentage among quarterbacks drafted since 2019. 12-7, 9-6 for Mac Jones. Okay, this is not up to date, is it? I was about to say. I don't think this is up to date because what
okay? If you look at, is there any quarterback on there that you would take Tua over?
Here's the thing, Joe Burrow, and I'm critical on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Tua. Herbert's a better quarterback than Tua. Kyler Murray is a guy who in the first half of the season is great, but guess what? I think Kyler Murray's starting to show some cracks in the armor, a chink in the armor, because look at that. The second half of the last few years he's been playing, he just has looked pedestrian at best.
Okay, if you were saying, who would you rather have, Kyler Murray or Tua Tagovailoa? Who are you picking?
It's Kyler Murray.
Okay, so everything else is just moot. And here's the thing, Mac Jones. All I know is the teammates at Alabama thought he was a better quarterback than Tua was.
I don't take too much into that. Anyway, I'll tell you this much. Mac Jones you got to wait to see what really he is. I mean, I think he benefits a lot from the defense there, and they've got a fantastic running game, and I think, their play calling is good. I mean, here's the thing. Mac Jones is definitely better than Cam Newton, but I couldn't tell you if he's better than Tua yet.
I think
we don't know much about Mac.
I think that Alexander is kind of cherry picking those stats a little bit. I'm sure he's leaving out some games that Tua played that maybe he got injured and they wound up losing, or
look at Tim Tebow's winning percentage. doesn't mean Tim Tebow is a good quarterback. Remember when Tim Tebow, he won 7 games in a row when he had to come in as a quarterback for the Denver Broncos, and he was in Tebowing and everything like that. They do the little thing. Yeah, it was cool. It was a funny meme, but no, Tim Tebow was not a good quarterback.
I wonder what his records against winning teams is. I'm gonna bet it's not very good.
And then what a film saying, you know who isn't great? Baker Mayfield. TJ called it a while ago. Do you remember when I freaking called that this offseason and you freaking said, and I freaking told you Baker Mayfield, with all the weapons he has and the performances he has been underwhelming at best. And I've said it since the offseason. Everybody was on the fence. Maybe Baker's going to take a step forward. He is atrocious. He's a game manager at best. A great offensive line, a great run game, and good wide receiving weapons, and a good tight end. He could never do anything. He is hideous. I'm actually going to upgrade that. You talk about one bottom half of the league quarterback. Bottom half. He's not even average. Bottom half of the NFL. Bottom half.
Okay.
Bottom.
That's a whole nother show altogether.
I just want to take a quick jab.
That's a whole nother show altogether. I'm not even getting into it.
I was about to say, we got to move on. I don't want to get stuck too much in the point and in the weeds on that. But now, speaking about something I know you'll enjoy, Grumpy, did you happen to hear there's been some more drama going on around Jake Paul? And now, apparently, Dana White has challenged him to a drug test. He said, this guy keeps saying that I'm a cokehead. He can randomly cocaine test me for the next 10 years if I can randomly steroid test him for the next 2. Now, I don't think it looks like Jake Paul uses steroids. I mean, like, you look at his frame.
I don't know what he used to look like. I mean, he looks like he's in shape now. He's certainly in shape there. I don't know what he used,
but it doesn't look like he's roiding. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know what he looked like before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how long does he look like that? Is that a real? It takes a while to build a physique like that. I mean, he's in good shape there. I mean, he's got really defined pecs. He's got a six-pack ab going on, nice muscle definition in his biceps, shoulder. I mean, he's nice and proportionate. I don't know what he used to look like. So I can't comment to see if I think he's using drugs or not, because I don't know what the hell he used to look like, like a year ago or a year and a half ago.
I'll tell you.
Would it stun me if he was taking steroids? No, it would not.
I don't know now. Now that I'm looking at the pictures and I'll show them to you, Grump, maybe Dana White might be on to something, because I look at this picture here, man, and this is when he first.
And how old is he now?
He's in his mid-20s.
And how old is he there? Because he's soft as shit, right?
I was about to say, he is looking sharp and soft on that one. I don't know how old he is in this picture, but I think this was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Well, maybe this is recent, but he's looking soft as shit. There's no definition. There's no bicep. There's no chest. The guy's looking soft as hell, is right. He's looking like me if I wasn't hitting the gym for a long. Like, dude, he's looking soft as hell. No lats, no chest, no biceps, no forearms. Guy's looking soft as hell. I mean, seriously, look at the difference. Look at that picture right here.
I'd like to see him without the T-shirt on, because it takes a long time to get chest definition like he has now.
I was about to say, this picture, he's freaking built.
He's looking good now.
He's in damn good shape on that one. The first one,
he looks, like I said, the chest. You don't get definition like that in 6 months. You just don't. I'm telling you from personal experience, you don't.
I'll try to pull something up for you, but something you're going to find interesting. I'll let you opine on it a bit. ESPN Ringside, Jake Paul's knockout of Tyron Woodley was voted ESPN Ringside's 2021 knockout of the year.
Okay. That's how you know that boxing is a dead sport. When you got some YouTube guy come out here, beat a guy who's 30 whatever, and is absolutely totally cashed, and that's your knockout of the year. You know what? We've had better fan fights with better knockouts of the year that we've shown on this program. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree. I mean,
we had Corona Boy, who's looked really good.
Corona Boy landed some hella fights and some big bunches.
Even last week we had Mr. Drunken Green Bay guy knocking out Mr. White Jacket. I mean, we've had much better knockouts than that on this program. And those guys aren't professionals. You don't have to go to pay-per-view to watch them. Just go to your local arena. You'll see it.
Oh man. Okay. So I've got the transformation, grumpy old man, and I'll let you look at the two images. Now, given this was quite some time ago, and I'll have to pull up the age, but I want to show you the difference in the transformation of the body. Let me see if I can get one of him shirtless. Okay.
Okay, he's a young boy in those other pictures.
This is in 2013.
Okay. Well, you can do that in 8 years. You can do that in 8 years. I mean, that's a long time ago. He's still
okay. He's only 24 years old.
Okay, so he was 16 there.
Yeah.
So that's not, it has to be.
As I'm looking at this, maybe he's not ruining. I mean, maybe he just hit the gym hard for the fight. But I looked at the one picture he had. Man, oh, Jesus Christ. This guy's a fool. I forget about this, man. This guy,
he is a moron.
He's an absolute fool. But I'll tell you, I'm not sure he's roiding. Now that I'm looking at this,
now that picture there, that's the one where he's 3-0. That is a drastic, on the right side picture, is a drastic difference from his current physique. I don't know when he was 3-0, but take a look at the next picture. Is that the next picture?
This is the most recent physique he had going into the fight.
I don't know. He's got so much of that shit all over his body that you can't really tell what he really looks like. He's also, slicked up. He's got some grease or something on him in the other picture, makes you look bigger. So who the heck knows? But like I said, with all that crap on your body, it's tough to see.
All I'm going to say is here in this picture right here, he's looking soft as hell. I don't know when this picture was taken, but he's looking
Look at his chest definition on the bottom left. He doesn't have any chest definition there. His biceps are small. I don't know when that picture was taken, but if that's within the last year, I mean, look at how much bigger he is in the top center portion. Much, much bigger. Look at the shoulders. Much, much bigger. Look at how skinny he was there. I don't know when the hell that was. But he's got no freaking muscle. See, yeah, I don't know. When was that picture all the way on the right?
This one, I don't know, Grump.
Okay, because the time is really, really important. He looks skinny as a damn rail over there.
And that, he's looking a lot.
Much bigger. He looks like freaking J.J. Watt. That's what he looks like now.
Oh, God damn it. Shut up. He doesn't look like J.J. Watt. He looks a lot better. Dude, I don't know. He's looking a lot more defined. Maybe he just hit the gym hard for the first time ever in his life.
No. That's not. He's a fighter. He's not bodybuilding. He's a fighter.
I think that's the first fight. Oh, man. This is the first fight. He was
okay. Then he's definitely on the juice. If that's the first fight, he's definitely on the juice. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. That first fight was what, 6 months ago?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's on the juice.
Absolutely.
Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, it's confirmed. Absolutely. Jake Paul on the juice. I mean, just look at this close up between him and Tyron Woodley. Yeah, juice.
Yeah.
No doubt.
No way. No way you make that transformation in 6 months. And that's why Woodley thought he could beat him the first time. Look at this.
Look at this soft ass son of a gun.
He looks soft as hell there. Yeah, the other one, he's definitely, like I said, the chest is to me, the chest and the shoulders are dead giveaways. The arms are nothing. He's got nothing. I'm just saying he's much, much bigger now. Much bigger.
Oh, man. Who doesn't love shitting on Jake Paul?
I like it.
He said steroids. What a film saying steroids for sure. He's a celebrity boxer. I hope he gets his ass kicked. And yeah, boxing is trying to fight the UFC. They're going the wrong way.
Yeah. True.
Now I want to show you, because we talked about Jake Paul. There was one other item, right? You talk about how unlikable of a guy he is. Did you happen to hear the recent comments?
I don't know if he's unlikable. I consider him unlikable because he's got a freaking big mouth. I hate guys like that.
Grumpy. Well, honestly, this I think he's very humble in this next clip. So I think this might actually make you a Jake Paul fan. I mean, he's 24 years old. He's young. I think this will make you a Jake Paul fan, Grump. I'll let you listen to it on his podcast.
I want to go to the NFL after this. Like legitimately just to play like safety and just deck people. No, I swear to God. And I'm about to bring hella ratings to whatever team I'm on.
Where would you want to go if you can go to any team?
Shit, the Browns. Bring it back. Like, who would you ever thought I would play for the Cleveland Browns? No, right?
I don't know.
That would be crazy.
Football takes.
Bro, you could run.
I'm looking at his physique. He's definitely roiding.
On a 4-3.
He's not doing a damn good job of it either. You look at some people on steroids and they look jacked as hell. You could definitely tell he's on it though.
40.
Well,
Well, it takes so
I can
much
run a
skill.
4-3 40.
He's a fast.
oh my God.
I could run a 4.3 40. Get
What,
the
40 feet?
out of here.
40 feet? I can run a 4.3 40 too. 40 feet. Not 40 yards, but 40 feet.
I'm not even sure you're running a 4.3 40 foot.
I could run a 4.3 40 foot. Don't kid
Smell
yourself.
A planet
I proved it in Mr. Beast Creator Games.
and the Challenger games.
I caught an Olympic sprinter.
Remember the
And
Challenger?
especially the Challenger Games. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we can do
What? I have the size, the power. I can knock people out with one punch. So why can't I play free? Why can't I play free safety?
And now here's the thing. In case you thought, okay, maybe he's just joking around, there's no way in hell Jake Paul honestly thinks that he could be a safety. Well, this is him earlier on in the year. After boxing, I'm going to be a free safety in the NFL. This was on April 20th of 2021. So this is not like a joke. This is not like a big old, hey, this is a running joke I've been carrying around for the last 8 months. No, this is what he really believes. He thinks that seriously, he could be a safety in the NFL after playing a little bit of high school football.
He's freaking dreaming.
He is freaking dreaming.
I don't know
This guy needs a freaking reality check more than any other human in the world. You never go by people, maybe friends, people you see like, oh man, that guy needs a reality check. Jake Paul needs a freaking reality check.
You know what? He needs to get knocked out. I don't know what his mother and father are like. But the mother's probably a stripper. And the father is probably a drug dealer. That's what I'm saying he's coming from.
No, he's not coming from that. I don't know what his parents do, but
they have to say, man, our kids are freaking losers. That's what they must be saying. Like, geez, shut up. Shut up. Stop talking. You look like an asshole. If my kid was, I'm like, you look like an absolute asshole whenever you talk. Every time you open your mouth, you say something more stupid than the previous time. Just shut your mouth. Or maybe the dad should go on there and pistol whip his ass and say, that's what happens, bitch. Now run your mouth. I told you to shut up.
Oh, good gracious.
You know what? I can't wait for him to get beat.
I just hope he actually fights somebody legitimate. And he definitely is roiding. He is definitely roiding, I tell you. No doubt about it. But Grump, hey, man, we're here at the end of today's podcast. What do you want to say before we wrap things up?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Thank you, Grumpy Old Man, for being a part of the podcast. As always, if you're new to the podcast, thanks for tuning in. Again, we invite you to subscribe. Stick around a while. And thank you, everybody who tuned in, listened, commented. Grumpy Old Man and I love being able to go ahead and talk with you guys and just talk sports and shoot the shit. That's for certain. And Happy New Year. Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow, but
yeah.
It's crazy, right? New Year's is right around the corner, Grumpy Old Man. But I want to thank you again. We'll be here tomorrow for the Georgia-Michigan game.
I just want to tell you something.
Don't be late.
I said to the warden yesterday or earlier today, I said, gosh, I can't believe it's the middle of January. She's like, what the hell's wrong with you? It's not even January yet. I'm like, thank you, warden.
God almighty, Grumpy. Your brain's going to mush. You're on holiday brain. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks again. Always is Grumpy. Thanks again.
My pleasure.